Mark Rogers TV with you every Wednesday night to talk Ohio State. Brian, of course, the Buckeyes with one of those 4 playoff spots coming up on New Year's Eve against the Clemson Tigers. Neither team has hit practice officially. Of course, press conferences are scheduled for the next few days. A lot to talk about, I'm sure, next week as we break down the matchups and really get down to serious stuff, sizing up the matchups offensively, defensively, and special teams. Kind of a bit of a breather here as we get close to full drive, Brandon. So let's talk about coaching changes. They're hitting just about everybody across college football, including there in Columbus, where a true Buckeye, Luke Fickell, moves on and has to take this job because, of course, it's a tremendous opportunity for him to take on a program that's been very successful for a number of years, and most recently under Tommy Tuberville until a couple of rough stretches here in the last few campaigns, especially here at 4-8 in Tuberville's final season. But Luke Fickell, 2011 interim coach at Ohio State, moving on to Cincinnati. Your thoughts about Luke Fickell as a Buckeye, of course, a true Buckeye as a player and a coach, and somebody who moves down Interstate 71 to take on UC.
Well, I think with Fickell, it's kind of a bittersweet kind of thing for the Buckeye fan base because, you know, on one side, you never want to lose somebody like Fickell. He's been a part of the Buckeye program for over 20 years, you know, as a player, as a coach, working his way up. So, you know, a lot of experience. You know, he is Buckeye through and through. So as a fan, like, you kind of don't want him to go just because you want him all for yourself. But, you know, it was time for him to get a job, to get a head coaching job. His name's been tossed around quite a bit. I know with Pitt, there's been quite a few jobs where his name's kind of been one of the finalists, never actually got the opportunity. So this is his chance, and I think it's a good spot for him. I mean, with him being so entrenched in the state of Ohio, he is Ohio through and through. So this is a good spot for him. You know, he's in a familiar recruiting place. You know, and Cincinnati's got a good team, just like you were saying. They've kind of struggled here lately, but, you know, I mean, that's a good spot for him. He can battle with Kentucky for some of those Ohio guys that Kentucky's been kind of poaching off here the last few years. And I think this is a good spot for Fickell to succeed. So as a Buckeye fan, you know, I'm kind of gone that he's no longer a part of the program. But, you know, you have got to be happy for him to finally get an opportunity, and a good one, you know.
Most definitely. The best of luck for Luke Fickell. Again, his legacy at Ohio State, both as a player and a coach, very difficult to match. This is the time of year, of course, Brandon, that awards are given out, and award list, both offensive, defensive player of the years in conferences, All-American team, conference teams, because I guess it necessarily wouldn't be the most fair if it was awarded after the bowl games, because some teams don't make it to postseason play, although at this point just about everybody does. So before we really hit hard the analysis next week, Clemson, Ohio State, the matchups offensive, defensively, and special teams, hey, why not? Let's get your 2016 regular season offensive, defensive, and freshman of the year for the Buckeyes.
I think on the offensive side of the ball, you've got a few different options that you could look at. You've got Curtis Samuel, who put up over 1,500 yards of total offense, 16 touchdowns. You've got Elfline, the center, who is the Remington Award winner. JT Barrett, who, you know, is their all everything quarterback. So those are those three kind of main guys that you would kind of look at for the offensive MVP. I think JT Barrett would be mine, simply because I think his poise, his game experience kind of helped the Buckeyes out quite a bit during the year. I think if JT Barrett wasn't there, if JT Barrett would have got hurt early on in the year, the Buckeyes would probably be sitting at, you know, at least probably three losses right now. You know, because he kind of took over down the stretch at Michigan State. There's a few games where, you know, the offensive coaching staff just completely leaned on Barrett. So without him, I think the Buckeyes would not be in the playoffs right now. So he's my MVP. On the defensive side of the ball, I had to go with Malik Hooker. who was just a dominant force back there. You know, the Buckeyes have had quite a few good safeties over the past couple years, but they've never had a safety quite like Hooker, who is just, you know, dominates the passing game. He dominates the run game. You know, he's just a playmaker back there that the Buckeyes haven't seen for quite a while. Finished the year with 67 tackles, 5 tackles for loss, 6 interceptions, and 3 pick sixes. So great year for him, and he says he's coming back. So hopefully he follows through with that, and we'll be back next year. Freshman of the year, there's really only one choice I think that you can honestly go with here. I mean, sure, Nick Bosa had a great year, but it's got to be Mike Weber. I mean, Weber was back there, running back, filled in for Zeke after Zeke left, rushed for over 1,000 yards, over 6 yards per carry, 9 touchdowns, and that was with him not really being used down the stretch run there. I mean, he really wasn't used that much against Michigan State, wasn't used that much against Michigan. So just had a great year as a freshman behind a kind of patchwork offensive line. So I look for Mike Weber next year to kind of really explode onto the scene and have a great year.
All right, each and every Wednesday night, Mark Rogers TV, joined by Brandon Zimmerman of the Buckeye Battle Cry to talk Ohio State football, with Ohio State just playing one of the 2 very meaningful games in college football in the postseason. We'll all enjoy plenty of bowl games, but when it comes down to determining championships that count, of course, this one of the 2 that really matter. New Year's Eve, Clemson, Ohio State should be just a phenomenal game, and Brandon will let you start to ponder the matchups here in the next 6 or 7 days. We'll get back together next Wednesday night and really size up what should be a I hate to have this one a classic. We know the importance of the game. Will it hit the mark and really pull through as a great game? Well, I would be shocked if it was not a good game, and it could be something special.
I agree. It's good. I am looking forward to it. Go Bucks.
All right, Brandon, we will talk to you next time.
All right, Mark. Thank you.